Liston Diario presents the editorial from the director.
Editorial for Monday, November 25, 2024. Condemned to suffer or die. 64 years after the horrendous murder of the Mirabal sisters, violence against women remains one of the most atrocious reflections of a society heading towards collapse. Although today they do not face the oppression of a dictatorship, Dominican women continue to be victims of another form of systemic violence, the negligence of the state to protect them and prevent femicides. According to recent figures, our country ranks second in Latin America with the highest rate of femicides, reaching 2.4 per 100,000 women. In the last 5 years, 758 women have been murdered, and 438 of those cases were femicides. These figures not only reflect a human rights crisis, but also the failure of institutions to guarantee the safety of women. Restraining orders, however well-intentioned, have proven insufficient against abusers who disobey them without real consequences. The lack of effective protection mechanisms, such as accessible shelters or effective surveillance, leaves victims vulnerable and in many cases condemned. The family, for its part, must also assume a more active and committed role. The danger posed by threats, acts of verbal or physical violence, and a history of abuse cannot be underestimated. The recurrence of violence against women has perpetuated a cycle of abuse that seems to have no end. Society owes a historical debt to women vulnerable to all kinds of abuse and suffering. Today, on the International Day of Nonviolence Against Women, it is imperative that the country act against this sinister culture of death. For Liston Diario, voiceover and translation by Danny Leon.
Liston Diario presented the editorial from the director.